We are in the new year. There's a lot happening with the Austin metro area. Some really good news to share. Let's dive into it. Let's see what's happening in our market. Right off the bat, home price forecasts. So, yes, we are still in a buyer's market. And yes, buyers still have a lot of inventory to select from. And yes, they still have the power to negotiate and get a wonderful deal on a property that may not be perfect, but it can be perfect for you. And so, what do we expect moving forward into 2026? Well, we expect, yes, again, it's still to be a buyer's market, but it may not be as amazing as it was through 2025. And you can see here with this graph and kind of see where we're expecting the forecast to be. So, previously at 27, now going upwards to 24. And so, we believe that trend line is going to go now up, right? And as we go up, it goes closer and closer to a seller's market. We still, again, strongly believe that we are far from any type of seller's market for at least the next year. And we know that because the level amount of inventory, it's hard to get rid of all of this inventory in such a short amount of time. It's going to take a few years. So let's go into what happened last month overall. Well, it took a seller 90 days to sell a home. Now, what I mean by that is the few sellers who are actually selling, so roughly under 20% of all the homes that are selling, right, or all the homes that are for sale are selling, it took them 90 days. Everybody else who didn't sell, they're sitting on the market a lot longer. And this is a bit higher in the wintertime that we expected to see. However, it's not unusual for the wintertime. New listings, we had a 9% decline from the previous year in new listings. We also had 91% close price to original list price ratio. What does that mean? It means if the seller wanted 500,000, did they get it? No, they got 91% of that. This is actually unique. This is a really good indicator that buyers were able to get a fantastic purchase last month, because typically we don't see that number below 94% in December time. So your buyers were able to, again, have heavier negotiation power in that aspect. Median list price is at 417, medium close price is at 436,690, and active listings were at 11,306 compared to sold, which is at 2677. What does that mean? It means that we should average about 6,780 active listings in December every year. We're 67% more listings, right? That's a buttload. That's like 4,000 some odd more homes, or almost 4,500 more homes on the market. That is a lot. And we are about 4.2 months of inventory. However, I want to make something very clear. We had an amazing December for sellers, because the amount of buyers that were out there who actually closed, that 2677, that is a normal December we would see pre-pandemic, right? Hear that clearly. That number of buyers who purchased is the identical of what we would expect pre-pandemic. So that was a really good month for 2025 in December. That means buyers came back to the market more than what we expected to see. Here are the number of homes sold and in the price points too. So if you want to pause this, take a look. It's very interesting to see where you are actually going to fit in depending on your price point. Sellers. All right, sellers, again, very strong December. More buyers came back to the market in Q4. 90% lists closed to list to close price ratio, or 91%. So buyers do have strong negotiation power. There's 67% more active homes, or more homes on the market. So there's strong competition. Why is this also taking longer to sell in the 90-day mark? There's more competition. It's not fewer buyers. So let's make that super clear. We don't have a smaller buyer pool. We have the same buyer pool across the board. It's purely more inventory. We do expect, again, elevated inventory all through 2026. Interest rates, they have fluctuated. So 5.8%, 6.2%. I had a lender at 5.5% just last week. So we're seeing this little wave happening, but in the most recent new year, in the last few weeks, we have seen lower interest rates, at least lower than what we've seen in 2025. So again, 90 days to obtain a contract. Buyers, let's go into you. All right, more buyers are coming back to the market, so expect to see more competition. That means the home that you may have been eyeing may go faster if it's attracted to most people, right? That is in most people's criteria. Well, you may not have all that time to think about it. We're still going to have steady inventory, so that's great news. And there's more choices for you more than ever. When I say more than ever, I mean really more than ever any time in history. It's very investor friendly. So we are seeing, I've actually have had more investors ring my phone and reach out and these deals as well that I've seen since 2012. Or that's a, okay, that's a lie. In the pandemic, we saw a lot of investors too, right? That kind of frenzy, that taste of that investor world has come back. Outside of the pandemic, then I would say around 2012 would make more sense. Home prices are competitively, home price competitively and fair will go quick. That is very true. And don't buy unless you plan to own the property for at least 3+ years. So if just saying this outright, you will lose your money if you try to sell less than 3 years. You're just not going to make anything on it. You're probably going to owe money on it. And then when rates do decrease by 1 point, consider refinancing. And of course, sellers, they still will negotiate. Questions? If you're a past client, you're a current client, or you're just somebody watching our social media, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will see you next month.